Morning. Rehearsal for a demonstration I'm doing for a friend's art group next week. I'm going to do something like this. I think I'm not sure about all this, but I don't want to put all of that in. I want to keep it simple. I've only got about an hour and a half to do it, so I don't want to pick anything with vistas of the Grand Canal in Venice or that sort of thing. So I have to keep it simple. So I'm going to do a meadow, but with that sort of background, but a bit more undulating. I've done it several times before. So my colours, well, I'll show you them. You will use whatever colours you like. Most of them are the cheap ones I buy from Wilkinson's. It's a UK store, but the artist quality ones that I do need are white, titanium white, yellow ochre and cadmium yellow. I can't find a decent white in the cheap. They just hasn't got the covering power if you buy too cheap. But this is Galleria. The yellow ochre is Galleria, as is the cadmium yellow. You have to pay for that. They're quite expensive. But with the cheaper pigments, so they've got good covering power. The red's pretty good. The ultramarine is fine. The crimson is a bit light for my taste, because I find that mixing the crimson with the viridian, you get a really good, rich dark. But the alizarin, I think, can overpower the viridian, or the other way around. I can't remember which. So anyway, I'm going to put in a bit of using black and a bit of yellow. I'm going to I'll have a low horizon, just going in there. I've primed over a demo that I didn't like really. Some demonstrations, they look okay online, you know, but if I don't think they're any good after a while, I cover them with a coat of diluted burnt sienna with some dilute PVA glue. I'm going to paint over this. I'm just doing a roughing in a sort of composition, fairly straight, sort of an Essex or Norfolk type of landscape. You can mix a bit of red in with that yellow as well, so it's not completely black. And I can paint the sky down to that, but I want to leave some bit through the middle there. Just have a bigger tree in here. Come down a bit further. Something like that. I'm going up a little bit. It doesn't matter. Right, I'm going to just clean my brush and I'm going to put a bit of blue in some of that, behind some of that. I like using these inch brushes. You can't fiddle and fuss with a large brush. So if I use a bit of blue, a bit of alizarin, not alizarin, bit of lovely viridian. There's a lovely turquoisey blue, a bit of white. I can just put in a bit of, that's not very subtle, is it? Let's make it more green. But by the time I put the sky on the top of that, it will change to a certain extent. Right, that'll do for a start. Now we'll start to rough in a bit of a foreground. I'm going to just leave that to dry for a little while. And this is where your burnt umber comes in handy, a bit of yellow ochre, a lot of white. You've got a nice sort of light, meadowy feel on all this. This is all about losing and finding. You can spray your paper with, or your support, whether it's canvas, watercolour paper, whatever, with water to make it flow a bit quicker, but I'm not bothering. There's some darker. Try not to make it all the same, but whatever you put on at this stage, you can go over, as it dries you can drag over it, but you want all this to be soft. Soft. Right, okay, so that's okay. We can put in some bit of dark bushy stuff here and there. Just mixing a lovely rich warm sort of greeny dark here, good nice and thick. This is just some, well, anything really, just thorns, thistle, heather, all sorts of stuff, tares, whatever, just growing in the meadow. But as I say, all this is going to be changed. Right, let's go in with a bit of sky now. Clean the brush with a swig of tea. I might do this in two parts, I'm not sure, I'll see how we go. The paper is Fabriano, £130, but it doesn't matter. I've treated both sides with PVA glue and the bit of burnt sienna to make a ground, a nice warm ground. So don't throw your watercolours away, even in rage. When something goes really wrong, it doesn't work for you. Just turn them over, paint on the other side, and then go over with acrylic as a last resort. And you'll be surprised what you can do. You can paint acrylic on most surfaces, I think even glass, if you prime it properly, hardboard, canvas, what we call plywood or laminated wood, sheet, veneer, melamine, all sorts of surfaces for this. As long as you don't paint anything with an oil base, you'll be okay. Right, let's put in a nice sky. Bit of red, let's get some cloud in. Let's just take a bit of building up the surface of this. I'm mixing a little bit of yellow ochre with a touch of cad red to warm it up a little bit. I mean, you just go over what you've done. Let's just keep going from one to the other. Go over your trees, then you can go back over the sky with some more paint. And bit by bit, you'll get a picture building up. It's up to you whether you leave some of the ground colour showing through. I don't use a lot of yellow, of light red. It's a very strong colour, but very good colour. And there are several that are very close to it. I never know whether they're just trade names. Venetian red, Italian red, that are actually the same colour as light red. I'm not quite sure about that. Let's get some of that here. I can go bits of blue on that horizon, which I will when we get to it. See, bit by bit, it all adds up. Just lighten some of that there. Right, so I want a bit of orange here, I think, and a bit of cad yellow. Just want to brighten all this up, but warm. Okay. Remember, the skies are never white. They've always got a colour in them. The demonstration I'm doing next Wednesday is on a piece of half imperial, twice the size of this, so I'm going to have to really work fast. But when you do a demonstration, you've got to try to entertain the crowd. I like doing it, it's a real challenge, it's good fun. I like yakking, talking. Right, let's put in a bit of, I'll clean a brush and I'll mix a bit of sky colour, some cloud colour, very light, slightly mauvey, so a bit of ultramarine, a bit of crimson, and a bit of white, a bit of cad red. Let's see what happens there. Try and fill the holes a little bit. I'm mixing quite a bit of white in with my mauvey mix. The palette is a Masterson's Stay Wet palette, super quality. I've had it for years. I don't get anything for pushing. I'm not promoting. Well, I'm promoting it, but I don't get anything for doing so. It's just a great thing to have. You only need to buy one in your life. I can put those distant clouds in, so they go a little bit streaky. In a minute I'll go back and restate the meadow, or the tree line. Right, so put some nice light pinky on the horizon. Alright, let's Let's get that coming down there a little bit more. I'm just mixing lights with reds and yellowy pinkies just to Now I'm making this up, I'm not copying that painting I showed you earlier, it's evolving. As I paint, I just paint till something is as pleasing as I can get it at a time. I might go with a bit of a lighter blue in there. Right, let's try a little bit of blue, but I don't want pure blue, pure ultramarine. I haven't got cobalt blue, I'm not a great lover of it, but there are times when you think, it would give me a little bit more depth. It's a bit too dark. That'll give me something to go over. So I'm just trying to make that distant sky, but I added a bit of blue, it sort of stretches it back a little bit, just scumble over that bright bit there. Mixing a little bit of yellow and crimson now just to Right, and I'll go back to my greys. my shadows. Right, well that's starting to look something like a sky, but a bit darker shadow. So just the crimson and the blue and a touch of white just to make it a little bit darker here and there. The paint is quite dry in parts now, so you can sort of dry brush over it. You need to put some more dark in here. Right, I'll leave that alone now. I'll just go back and reinstate the horizon. So I might use a little smaller brush for the. It's a bit small. I'm looking for a particular brush, but as usual, I can't find it. Oh, that'll do. That'll do. Right, okay, back into the green. Now there was a larger one here, so let's just. I'll put some air back over that when we get to it. Right, good. Go to the other side now. There's a bit of red in there. Okay, right. Go back onto the horizon now. So using yellow ochre, white to get that nice. Oh, that's a good colour one. Right, let's just mix a bit of green in with that. Bit of meadow green. Let's go over the edges to soften. The Viridian is one of the two yellows that I use in acrylic. I use sap green as well, but it mixes very well with yellow ochre for quite a good green. Just keep dragging over. Warm up the colours as we come into the foreground. I'm a great advocate of doing foregrounds quickly. Get them out of the way. We could put a few puddles or a bit of a pond or lake or something in here. There's a bit of burnt umber. Shadow. Right, just a bit of yellow ochre and white, just to go get some nice light on the horizon here now. Right, let's get some nice rich greens in there. That's white mixed with not white, lemon, cadmium yellow mixed with a bit of viridian. Let's get in there. Now dark greens. Got to put those hedgy things in, those things that you see sticking up in a grass meadow. Always bear in mind that when doing foregrounds, we're looking out towards there rather than at our feet. Alright, let's get a nice wodge of green here. this is any old green now. Right, let's put a bit of shadow in some of that now. Just that blue, red or crimson, bit of white. You can use burnt umber. In fact I will, just mix a bit of burnt umber with that. Sort of grassy. Right, let's put some violets in there, complement the greens. Well, reddy, sort of ochre-y. That's I'm just adding some reddish colour back over. I haven't used burnt sienna. I've only used it for the ground. Now maybe we can put a pond in there now, reflecting the sky, so it's sort of a grey blue. Let's put it in here. Come down here with that, a little bit of I'll reflect into this. My clean brush. Put in some reflection of the bush that I'm going to reinstate. brush is split. This is sort of abstract. I'm not trying to do any portraits of anything. I'm just trying to. It's coming. It's sort of working now, but there's not a lot of work going on in there. So I'm going to mix the brighter green there. That's the Viridian and the Cad Yellow. Mix a bit of yellow ochre in that, which is a more realistic sort of green, I think. But this, I just want to lighten all this here, and then put a few poppies and a few wildflowers in. But by dragging over the drier paint, you get this pastel effect. You'd have to wait a long time to do that in oil. Let's get some of this in here. Right, let's just drag a little bit over this the tree line here. A bit of red in there. Right. I'm not over pleased with it yet, but time is pressing and I don't want you to get bored. But just put in a bit of a no, I've got the wrong colour on that. Right, let's clean off my white has got really, right, that colour's got into that sky because I was a bit careless. So I'm going to have to wait for it to dry and just change that. Just clean it all off. You need much more white than you do of any other colour, of course, as you know. All right. Just my sort of shorthand for detail. Spread the brush bristles, and then we can get the sort of grassy I'll just put a bit more highlight in that water now. But I just want to change the colour of that sky, those clouds that I've just wrecked. I'm not happy about that shape, so we'll change that a little bit. A bit of alizarin crimson, it's not alizarin, a bit of white, a bit of blue, crimson, it's crimson red. And let's just it's just not a very good shape, that cloud. What was it like on the screen? It doesn't look too bad. Oh, that's not too bad. Right, now some puppy sort of things in here and there. They always go down well, poppies. Oh, I've got to put a bit of light in there, haven't I? And it warms the foreground up too. Right, we'll add little bits of white. Bit of blue, the sort of cornflowers. Alright, just a little bit of work to do in there, then I'm going to call that finished. I could put a windmill in, but that'll just be too pretty, won't it? Too too naff. But black. My main yellow, green is black and yellow. Now, although I put pictures of these on Facebook and upload the video, there are times when I do carry on working on them if I see something I can improve. Right, it's just. Right, I'm going to let that go. That's as finished as I think I can get it. I'll put it in a mount and we will have a look. Where's my masking tape? Let's put that at the bottom. I'll put it in the light coloured mount because the painting is quite dark. Oh well. So there's a sort of another meadow. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. I'll bring you round and I'll zoom you in. Let's come up a little bit higher. Whoops, do this. So I can angle down. Right, I've got that nice and square, that makes a change, isn't it? So let's zoom in, let's go into the, we won't look at the sky, but just look at this. So we've just got that little area going through the middle, although it's off centre, but I'm not so worried about focal points. So there we are. Well, wish me luck for Wednesday because I'm going to have to do this twice the size. But they will all end up different. And this is the thing about photographs, when you work from photographs, you tend to put it all in, or try to put it all in because it's there. Whereas I've learnt to simplify, which has taken a long time, I have to say. But I'm no example, I just do what I do. But I quite like it. I hope you do too. But enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.